The budget process for a new quadrennium begins almost immediately after General Conference concludes. A group called the Budget Advisory Team is assembled with representatives from GCFA, the Connectional Table, and the General Secretary's Table. This group guides the overall budget process and develops the principles on which the budget will be formed. Another important group is GCFA's Economic Advisory Committee. This committee is comprised of economists, clergy, and laity. They are charged with projecting out the local church expenditures, which are one of two factors in the apportionment formula. Typically, when General Conference occurs, only the first year of net expenditures for the formula are known. The other 3 years are projections established by the economic modeling of this committee. The other factor in the apportionment formula is the base percentage, or the rate of apportionment. This past quadrennium, another group was formed called the Apportionment Sustainability Task Force. It was comprised of one bishop, one layperson, and one clergy from each jurisdiction. They were asked to determine the viability of the current rate of apportionment on local churches and annual conferences. They made a recommendation to reduce the base percentage rate by 25%. Both the Economic Advisory Committee projections and the recommendations from this task force were brought to the GCFA Committee on General Agency and Episcopal Matters. This committee recommends the net expenditure projection and base percentage to the GCFA Board. The factors combined provide the calculation for the total quadrennial apportionments. The General Agency and Episcopal Matters Committee also makes a recommendation to the GCFA Board regarding allocations to the Episcopal Fund, the General Administration Fund, and any fixed charges to GCFA from other funds, considering the principles and guidelines established by the Budget Advisory Team. Fixed charges are the stabilizing cost of bookkeeping and administration of funds. Once it receives these recommendations, the GCFA Board ratifies or modifies as deemed necessary. Once this step is complete, the total amount of the budget, less the amounts allocated by GCFA, is provided to the Connectional Table to make recommendations for the other 5 general funds and general agencies. The Connectional Table, using the principles established by the Budget Advisory Team and their evaluation process, makes a recommendation on the allocation to and within these funds. GCFA and the Connectional Table must agree upon these allocations before they can be presented to General Conference. This culminates in the first iteration of the quadrennial budget, which currently stands at $370 million. This is where we are now in November 2023. Prior to General Conference, GCFA updates its projections for local church expenditures. It also reviews the allocations and any recommended changes by the Budget Advisory Team and the Connectional Table. It then submits a revised budget to General Conference. At General Conference, the budget petitions are brought before the Financial Administration Committee. This committee adopts and amends and makes a recommendation to the plenary regarding the quadrennial budget. Once the plenary starts, any petition that may have financial implications are adopted. GCFA and the Connectional Table meet to determine whether the proposed budget needs to be amended due to any of these petitions. Revisions to the budget reports are made as necessary and published in the DCA. The final proposed reports come before General Conference on the last day for approval and amendment. So as you see, the process involves many constituents and has several variations before a final budget is adopted.